Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a Quiet Place fan.
Hi, I'm Senthil, and I'm a Bird Box fan.
So the two of us have decided, since we disagree, we're going to start watching as many horror movies as we can and come up with a new way of rate them. Come join us.
Hello, Scott. Welcome again to another conversation about horror movies. Today, we're going to talk about a movie called Girls Against Boys. It's another small budget movie that was filmed in 2012, and it has one well known name today, who is Danielle Pennebaker, who
Yes,
most people know her in Flash, and she's done a good job there. What did you think about this movie?
hated it. I I didn't like this movie at all. I thought it was contrived. I thought it was another I get it was done in 2012 before things like Peppermint and all of the things. But again, it has that that feeling of uh damn it, Cynthia, what's the movie I'm thinking of with the lady who gets violated in the woods and then she comes, oh, I Spit on Your Grave, right?
Yes,
A
yes.
less graphic Spit on Your Grave, don't get me wrong. But again, this is another one of those movies where it takes the violation of a woman in a rape scene, and then we go ape shit, right? And then it becomes this violent revenge film, and with the person who was raped suddenly feeling guilty for doing what they're doing. It didn't work. I didn't enjoy one bit of this film.
I agree. The things that bothered me initially were that there were not just one, but two rape scenes.
Yeah.
It's like the movie felt a single rape scene was insufficient trauma for this poor girl, and they had to add two to somehow justify the violence that is occurring. There was a point in the movie that I thought maybe that all of this is imagined, that it didn't really happen because there was a lot of glossing over of the murders and no
Yes.
police and nothing going on, and the bodies just disappeared, including the scene in the woods. So I kind of thought that, but no, it's clearly it's a straightforward revenge movie from a filmmaking point of view. Let's put the story aside for a second. What did you think?
I didn't like the way that I didn't like the film either. I mean, I didn't. There was not anything in it really to me that was redeeming, and really simple. It was about, you know, they did okay with the cinematography and they did okay with change of scenes. And don't get me wrong, I like a movie that is a low budget film and they're going from place to place. It shows that the director is thinking about a story, taking the story along. But it felt contrived through the entire film. It's contrived. Even the second rape scene that you're talking about, right? It really, they thought that the trigger needed to be that she cared about this person deeply. And so therefore he needs to try to violate her as well in order to move this forward. So she feels completely isolated and vulnerable. And I'm like, really? You have to do that, right? So we're gonna drag it to this thing. I also thought the ending was contrived. I just kind of went, okay, so now you're going to be the replacement. I I just, especially after you feel her feeling bad for what she's done, and then suddenly she's at the end going, oh, okay, and she kind of picks up where we start from in the beginning. I There wasn't much about this film that I liked, unfortunately.
I agree. The story didn't work. I thought it was a bit trauma porn, which I didn't like about that. And the shift in character in multiple directions throughout the movie didn't quite make sense. Practical effects, I'll give it credit for the practical
Yes.
effects. As a low budget movie, did a pretty good job in the gore and the blood and the violence that was involved. The actors did a great job in the performances, but I didn't think they had a lot to work with. So if I had to recommend it, I probably wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't recommend this one. It it didn't work for me, and I'm not exactly sure what Austin, the director, was working with or the thoughts behind it. But for me, I wouldn't recommend this film at all.
I think one direction this could have gone is step up the revenge game, make it a hack and slash. Drop bodies left and right where they're going on a killing spree. Make it a gore-oriented horror flick where you're no longer focusing on the trauma porn and the revenge factor. It's just a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style massacre fest of against all guys everywhere. I think that could have been effective, but I agree with you. Um, I wouldn't watch it a second time. I probably wouldn't recommend it.
No, and I'm with you, Synthel. If they had turned this film into complete absolute trauma where you go bat shit on every guy that you meet, right? it hits that level of that's horror, right? You hit your breaking point, and no guy is safe, no matter how good of a guy you are, whatever you are. This was more just very pinpointed, very. I'm going to hunt down this person. I'm going to do all this critical damage. And for me, I felt cheated at the end when she does what she does to her friend, and yet we perpetuate the cycle again. It didn't work. Even in a revenge story, it didn't work.
I agree. It's been great talking to you about another movie. Looking forward to the next conversation, Scott.
Hey, Synthel, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again.
Next